Well, hi everybody, Bill here. How would you like to go for a ride down to Louisville? We're going to take the helicopter down. Should be out front and fueled and ready to go. We're going to the tractor show.
Dubuque Tower 34 Whiskey Tango departing to the southeast IFR to Louisville. All right, everybody, sit back and enjoy the ride. We're on the way to Louisville. Okay, we're going to do a quick descent coming into Louisville. You want an airplane ride, so you're going to get one. There's the Expo Center. I'm going to fly around here. That red arrow is showing you the entries of the Freedom Center, and we're going to tour everything under all these roofs here today. I'm going to find a place to land, and then we'll get into the show. Thanks for joining me. Louisville Tower 34 Whiskey Tango, we're cleared to land the Expo Center. Roger.
Oh boy, wasn't that fun? That's the way to come down to Louisville. Beats driving. That red arrow right there, that's going to show you where we're going to start our tour. The Freedom Hall is to the left, and the main entry, I call it, is to the right there. So let's go inside now, and I'll show you what it looks like at about 9 o'clock. If you're planning spending the whole day here, either pack your lunch and bring it in, or you can expect longer lines. Here's 9 o'clock, and it gets a lot more congested come 11 o'clock. So there's quite a few lines there. So either plan on eating very early or very late. Just plan your day out. They're also lining up where that red arrow was showing. Lines are pretty big, but there's a lot of food vendors. All right, let's go out to the John Deere booth first. I was here in 2019, and it was a corporate booth. Back then I was shopping for a 2038, and I was disappointed that there was not a 2038 at the show. Instead, they brought the 3 Series. I was able to grab a representative of this dealership, and he told me not much has changed in the 2038R since 2019. So there wasn't a whole lot to see there.
This now bolts on the outside, and now it is only a couple extra lines versus the 4 or 5 extra lines in the wiring.
That's all been...
It's made easier. A lot easier.
And I see the loaders, the 300E.
Yes. This is a self-leveling loader.
All right. Yep.
And how you can tell it's a self-leveling loader is a plate.
Right there. Okay.
And then also down here, where you're leveling.
Okay. I asked him to explain what was new on the 1 Series this year.
Parking brake is moved.
Oh, yeah.
LED headlights now, and inside lights are LED. Your connection is moved from the floorboard to a single point connection.
That's standard?
That's standard.
I see.
Across the board. And your seat is also changed a little bit.
You don't have a cruise control anymore, do you?
You still have for your cruises?
Yeah, since you removed the parking brake, you made it here, so that makes that cruise, your cruise control.
And then the backhoe for this, no changes
No
with
changes
that?
on it. Thank you.
I asked him what his opinion was on lead time and inventory.
So, and actually now I'm out of Sellersburg location. I've got the most inventory we've had in 4 years.
No kidding. Wow.
I'm actually starting to have mowers still sitting in crates that hasn't been set up yet. Because my lot's getting.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. I haven't seen that in 4 years. It's been uncrated, it's gone. Uncrated, it's gone. It's sold. Or as soon as it hits, it may stay for a day or two. Somebody sees it, it's gone.
I asked him for his opinion on who would purchase a self-leveling loader. Here's what he said.
If somebody's moving dirt all the time, they could care less about self-leveling loader, but if you're moving other things, equipment or barrels, stuff you need to keep level as you're raising up and down, self-leveler is great.
And are there lead time issues now? Back in 19, they were making them as fast as they could.
As fast as they could. No, actually, everything is starting to open up.
Is it?
Everything you see here is actually stopped with the right inputs.
Okay. So if he's typical of John Deere dealers, it's nice to know that they're starting to get inventory back, and maybe that'll help stabilize prices or maybe even lower them a little bit. Fingers crossed. I pointed this out because I like that release handle there for those stabilizers versus the pin that I have in my 2038. That's kind of nice. So remember, this is a 3038E. I always remember entry level, so it doesn't have all the features that an R model has. Still a nice tractor, but no reason for me to trade up from the 2038. Here's a basic overview of what you would expect to see at the John Deere dealer's booth. All right, now this is a lot of fun. I'm going to stop talking. This is a tractor pull for kids. Listen. All right, now if you could be in that kid's head, here's what he heard. That was pretty cool. I thought that was terrific for the young kids. And his imagination, I think he really heard that. Well, we're going to walk around some other booths here. I'm not going to stop in and interview people on them. I'm just going to give you the overview of the show. If you should decide to come down, well, you'll know what to expect. I came down in 2019 and now 2024. COVID got in the way and complicated things, so I couldn't get back down for a while. But I don't think I'll go again. It seems like the same show from 2019. But if you haven't been here, put it on your bucket list. It is kind of fun to walk through. One day is plenty. If you want to really take your time and maybe you're shopping for a tractor or certain implements, make it 2 days. That'll be very easy. This company had a real nice setup for farm tractor winches. If I could have a wish list, I'd put this on it. They'll pull from 6,000 pounds and up. With a lot of lumber that I have down around my property, I would love to have one.
You need to find out the size, the height of your PTO on the tractor.
Oh.
We have that here on the literature, and then you get the PTO as straight as possible. It's very important.
Oh, that's the first thing you do?
That's the first thing to fit what fits for your tractor.
Oh, so you want it as straight as possible?
Yes.
Oh, I'll be darned, I didn't know that.
And then the both have anchor effect. That means that when you are pulling, then it prevents you to go backwards with your tractor. That's the blade there. Blade. Pulling is by the string, where you activate the clutch. Here you have the PTO running. When you activate the clutch, it'll press the wire drum with the cable against the chain wheel. On that chain wheel there is a clutch lining. That's your overload release. And then you start pulling in. You have around 140 feet of cable. Like this. Then you can go out everywhere. Also in between the standing trees, hillside, the little creek or whatever.
There, pronounce that name again. I want to be sure you say it.
It's direct translated from Danish, Fransgard, means Francis Farm, founded by my uncle. And that's our family name as well.
Oh, that's you. Good for you. That's a bloodline. Nice. This guy was real friendly, eager to talk to. I even got a piece of candy he brought from Denmark. And he said, if you see that crown on there, that means this stuff goes to the royal family. So, lucky me, I got some royal chocolate. Kubota had a great big presence here, Kubota Landpride. One question I had for them is, why am I not seeing brown or tan or beige implements? And they said that's all getting phased out. Everything's going to be orange since Kubota took everything over. I like the pre-drilled buckets if you're inclined to put on a tooth bar or something like that. It's already drilled for you. That's kind of nice. A lot of competition here with John Deere. Nothing wrong with Kubota. I was kind of intrigued with the grapple. We're going to come back to that in a little bit. I think I got the last grapple that came out of Everything Attachments. Shipped in January 24 and the gates were locked February 24. I don't know how that worked out, but that'll be another video for you to watch. This one here with the double lids is $4,000. I don't know if I'd spend $4,000 on a grapple. How about you? Just looking at the construction of it, I'm not saying anything negative against it, but the everything attachment design was pretty stout, and you'll see that in the next videos. Everything attachments design really set the bar high for the competitors. I'm going to stop the video here for a minute. If you want to look at the spec sheet or the spec card they have with this, you can freeze it and read that at your leisure. Otherwise, let's move on here and look. Kubota, I said it before, they really had a big presence here. There's a lot of tractors to look at. Some of the other dealers that I visited, I really felt they were going for the big ag customer and not the compact tractor customer that might own 3 to 5 to 15, 20 acres, you know. Information given out at the show stated that there is over 800 exhibitors here and displaying thousands of agricultural products, and they expect over 300,000 people to attend the show this year. One fellow was quoted that attended in 1970 saying the showcase tractor back in 1970 was 120 horsepower, and now they're over 700 horsepower. So what a change since 1970. Kubota sure loves its is it trundle pedal. Here's a little bit different design. I thought this might actually be more comfortable for me. I kind of like the design of that. Otherwise, it's kind of the standard pedal that's been used for a lot of years. At least that's what I saw at the show. Oh, Tartar was here. They had a nice presence. A lot of ag machinery and equipment there. If I want to see more implements, I can visit my local farm dealer here in Dubuque. He's got a big selection of Tartar, and I notice they're all coming in painted black. I sure would love to have a trailer, a tilt trailer like this with that stationary 4-foot up front so you could haul an implement up there and drive off. I've got a 18-foot car trailer now that I use, but this tilt trailer would really be nice. Not endorsing this brand, but I'd sure like to have a design like that. Well, Woods had a nice presence here. They had some information there saying they invented the batwing mower all the way back to 1963. They said one of the biggest challenges for a manufacturer is bringing newness forward. I bet that is a big challenge. It's difficult to figure out what matters to the end user, he said. Also, reducing maintenance time on the batwings a primary area of focus, I was told. Here's some general shots of what you can expect from the larger manufacturers. A lot of big equipment there. Here's the Massey booth. I've got a Massey dealer about 15 miles south of me. I never think about them. How many viewers do I have that are using Massey products? Let me know. Well, we're going to start wrapping this video up here, coming to an end. It's been a pretty full day here for me. Lots to see. We'll be back tomorrow and do another video. Now, let's see. Tomorrow we're going to go through LS, Coyote, King Cutter, just to name a few. So there'll be a lot for you to see. So be sure and subscribe and don't miss it. Well, thanks for taking time and spending part of your day with me. I sure appreciate it. Oh, we're going to look at drones too. There were a lot of drones here. Oh, and then Tar River. So there's a lot to see. Hope you enjoyed the tour today. Looking forward to walking you around the farm show tomorrow. Take care, everybody. So long.